The night Marcus Webb drove Route 9 in upstate New York, the radio was playing static. Not the kind of static that comes when you lose a station, the kind that sounds almost like breathing. He turned it off. Outside, the October forest pressed against both sides of the road like dark walls closing in. The headlights cut a pale yellow tunnel through the blackness, and beyond that tunnel, there was nothing. Just absolute, swallowing dark. Marcus was a long-haul trucker from Memphis, Tennessee. 43 years old, divorced twice, with a daughter in college and a body that had seen too many rest stops and too much bad coffee. Had driven this particular stretch of Route 9 dozens of times before. He knew every curve, every pothole, every gas station with its buzzing fluorescent lights. But tonight felt different. He couldn't explain it. It was just a feeling, the kind that settles in your chest like cold water and refuses to leave. His grandfather used to call it the warning feeling. The old man from Louisiana would say, when your bones go quiet, boy, that means something else in the room is listening. Marcus had always thought that was just old folk nonsense. He wasn't so sure anymore. His phone buzzed on the passenger seat. A text from his daughter, Janelle. "Dad, you okay? Just felt weird for a second. Call me when you can. Love you." He smiled. Janelle always had that thing, that strange mother-hen instinct that was completely inappropriate for a 20-year-old. He'd call her when he stopped. Maybe another 30 miles up, there was a diner called Patty's Place. Open 24 hours. He'd stop there, get some terrible pie, and call his daughter. He was thinking about that pie, probably lemon meringue, always lemon meringue, when he saw her. A woman, standing at the side of the road, right at mile marker 13. She was wearing a white dress. No coat. In 40-degree October weather, she was standing in a white dress with her arm outstretched, thumb up, hitchhiking. Marcus wasn't the kind of man who picked up hitchhikers. He had rules. 20 years on the road had given him 20 years of horror stories. Truckers who picked up strangers and ended up robbed, beaten, or worse. He had a sticker on his dashboard that Head bought at a truck stop in Ohio. No riders. But something made him slow down. He told himself later that it was because she looked so cold. That was the story he told himself. But the truth was, and he knew it even in the moment, he slowed down because she turned her head and looked directly at him before his headlights had even reached her. Before she should have been able to see the truck at all. He stopped. She walked to the passenger window. He rolled it down. She was maybe 30 years old. Dark hair, pale skin, though later he would think too pale, the kind of pale that has nothing to do with cold. Her eyes were dark brown, almost black, and they were dry. Not a trace of discomfort, despite the cold. No goosebumps on her bare arms. "Where you headed?" Marcus asked. "Harlow Creek," she said. Her voice was quiet. Not a whisper exactly, but the kind of voice that seemed to take the warmth right out of the air. You know it? Marcus knew it. Small town, about 20 miles up the road. Had passed through it 100 times. "Yeah, get in. He'll take you." She climbed in. She didn't thank him. She didn't say anything. She just sat with her hands folded in her lap and looked straight ahead through the windshield. Marcus pulled back onto the road. "Cold night to be out without a coat," he said, trying to fill the silence. "I don't feel it," she said. "You from around here?" A pause. Then, "I used to be." He glanced at her. In the glow of the dashboard lights, she looked almost translucent. Like if you looked hard enough, you might see the seat through her. "Stop it," he told himself. "You're tired. You've been driving for 9 hours. Your brain is doing things." "What's your name?" he asked. She turned and looked at him. Slow, the way people turn their heads in dreams. Sarah, she said. Sarah Alcott. The name hit him somewhere strange. Like had heard it before, but couldn't place it. Like a song you know the melody of, but not the words. Marcus, he said. Marcus Webb. She nodded, as if she already knew. They drove in silence for 10 miles. Marcus turned the radio back on. The static was gone now. Some country station was playing, which he hated, but he was grateful for any human sound at all. The trees thinned as they approached Harlow Creek. The first houses appeared, dark, sleeping, their windows like closed eyes. You can drop me here, Sarah said suddenly. On this corner. Marcus slowed to a stop at the intersection of Route 9 and a narrow side road called Alcott Lane. He noticed the street sign only when his headlights hit it. Alcott Lane. Same last name. You sure? He asked. I can take you farther. It's late. This is where I need to be, she said. She opened the door and stepped out, then paused and turned back. Marcus, don't stop at Patty's Diner tonight. His blood went cold. He had told no one about Patty's Diner. He hadn't even thought about it out loud. It had been a private thought, locked inside his own head. What? He breathed. Just drive past it, she said. Keep going. Don't stop. She closed the door before he could speak. He watched her walk down Alcott Lane. 20 feet. 30 feet. His headlights followed her white dress between the trees. And then she was gone. Not like she turned a corner. Not like she went inside a house. Just gone. As if the dark between two trees had simply swallowed her. Marcus sat at that intersection for 3 full minutes. His hands on the wheel, not moving. Then he drove. He drove past Patty's Diner. God help him. He almost stopped. The lights were on. The parking lot had a few cars. The sign in the window said open. But he remembered her voice, that cold, quiet voice that pulled the warmth out of the air. And he kept driving. He was still shaking when he reached the next town, Grover Falls, 12 miles north. He pulled into a gas station, sat for a moment, and then took out his phone. He searched Sarah Alcott, Harlow Creek, New York. The first result was a news article from the Harlow Creek Gazette, 23 years old. He clicked it. The headline read, Local woman killed in diner fire. 1 dead. The diner was Patty's Place. The fire had happened 19 years ago. Sarah Alcott, age 30, had been the only fatality. She had been trapped in the kitchen when the old gas line in the back exploded. The fire had started at 12:47 a.m. on October 14th. Marcus looked at the clock on his dashboard. 12:41 a.m. October 14th. He looked up from his phone. Down the highway, through the darkness, he could see a faint orange glow rising above the tree line, in the direction of Patty's Place. The Harlow Creek Fire Marshal's report would later confirm it. A gas line failure in the kitchen of Patty's Place Diner. The fire started at 12:47 a.m. 3 people were inside, a cook, a waitress, and a traveling salesman from Albany. They all escaped. The cook made it out last, with 30 seconds to spare. The waitress, when interviewed by local news, said something strange. She said a customer had come in earlier that night, around midnight, and warned them all to check the back kitchen. Said she smelled something wrong. What did this customer look like? The reporter asked. The waitress shook her head slowly. Dark hair, white dress, pale like you wouldn't believe. Left before we could even say thank you. She paused. Weirdest thing was, she didn't order anything. Just sat at the counter and said, you should check the gas line in the kitchen. Something's wrong back there. And then she left cash on the counter. A $5 bill. Old. Like really old. The reporter asked what happened to the bill. The fire marshal held up an evidence bag. Inside it was a $5 bill, partially singed at the edges. Series 1963. 58 years out of circulation. Marcus never drove Route 9 at night again. But sometimes on long dark stretches of highway, when the radio fills with static that sounds almost like breathing, he thinks about mile marker 13. About a woman in a white dress who knew his destination before he said a word. About the fact that death sometimes doesn't just take. Sometimes it warrants. And sometimes the dead are kinder than the living ever had the courage to be. The last thing Marcus did before leaving Grover Falls that night was call his daughter. He didn't tell her what happened. He just said, "Hey, baby, I'm okay. Just wanted to hear your voice." And Janelle said, "I know, Dad. I know." She didn't ask why he was calling at 1 a.m. She already knew something had happened. Some things across the dark and the distance, you just know.